We are here to do your channel messages and what I see for your star sign in each month. Now, if you do like this content, remember to click the bell. And also we do have a brand new edition, which is the Romance Zone. So stay tuned for that. I will be bringing those channel messages with the tarot live by mid-month. So if you do wish this content ahead of the game, you can join a YouTube membership where I pre-release these a week ahead. Take care, and let's have a look at what I see for your zodiac sign this month. Welcome back, Sagittarius. We're here to do your psychic updates for February. Yes, we do have mid-month, so come through and check your star sign for your romance house. It will be a tarot reading, and very separately we have weekly content drops as well as lives every Friday if you wish to join us. Without further ado, let's have a look at your zodiac sign and what my prediction energies are for you. Very, very active month, very exciting month, because we do have all planets direct, and I do see for you particularly, you're really that get up and go kind of a person, and I do feel particularly you can have more energy as the month progresses. There can be a lot of goals really that are going to come up for you as an individual, and you can physically start to see forward momentum. I also feel particularly there's two major themes that are going to come up for you this month. One can be changes surrounding home and family. And I do particularly feel in the first half of the month to be very careful around siblings because there particularly could be something that does come to the head. Additionally, you could go on a trip, something that's really long overdue, or you may complete some education. This also could entail paperwork in some shape or form. Now, the second part of the month, what I do see as a potential is a change of home. Now, that can be news of a baby. It can be moving physical home. It may be getting some documents in relating to such. It could also be really moving things around and getting things in organisation. But there definitely could be some things happening around your routine in the home zone. Stay tuned for that one. Overall, I do see a lot of healthy movement that's overdue, and I feel your communication style in the initial changes could be a bit stressed. So I would say, if you can, try to be quite structured with your approach, especially with your health. I do feel in the first half of the month, you're going to have revelations of what you need to tweak in that area. As long as you are in a routine but aware that changes can happen, I do feel this year is going to be a lot different in that domain. But I do feel it's key to really try and keep those stress levels down, be very organised, and there can be clarity around that coming within the first week to 2 weeks. Now, I also feel particularly your net worth and your income could be changing and increasing. You guys might have had a lot of chops and changes around that. Self-esteem and confidence also. For those of you in love, I do see directly there can be a lot of changes happening there. Those of you that are single, overall, I do feel this whole year we're going to be wrapping up a lot of karma, and there could be, really for those of you that were on the fence relating to a love interest, you could be gaining a lot more confidence. You could be really starting to be a different vibe of who you used to be. You may have been a little bit snappy over the last few months, and I do feel that's going to dissipate too, and I feel communication is going to be the key. Really pushing the point, if something's really not fitting with you, this could mark a point where you are really putting your foot down and speaking to individuals, quite frankly. I do feel there can be a lot of social energy this month. So passions could run high. There definitely could be some romantic dates. And I do feel bumping into people and really meeting a sweetheart is a very huge potential, especially by mid-month. Those of you in a relationship, now things can get a bit funky. I do feel this month is a good month, and I don't feel that anything will ever happen to a connection that is very stable. But I do feel the ironing out of the creases and the tension points can still be there till around March. But nevertheless, this is a place where we can communicate more effectively, especially by about the second week of February. I do particularly feel there can be some things coming up for those of you that have children. It could be that you need to move schools. You could be moving home this month. I also feel there could be some surprise pregnancy. So if that's something you're not really ready for or not looking forward to, really be extra cautious at this point in time. But there could be a lot of barbecues, a lot of social interactions, dinner parties, etc., that can kind of spice up the energy of love for you. I do feel also you will be more firm with healthy boundaries, and this also can seep into other relationships. Just make sure it's a healthy boundary and it's not aggression or anger that's coming through, because that could be an underlying subject coming up in your life that maybe you're doing something that doesn't resonate with you anymore. And I do feel the key to that is really stepping back and looking at it and saying, hey, what is actually going on here? Do I need to articulate my feelings, or is something really, bugging me that is a bit more deeper than meets the eye? Now, those of you with your image, I do particularly feel you're going to be needing to care for your wellness, and you could be taking direct steps. You may find some of the habits that you have stemmed from stress, maybe have came about due to instabilities we've experienced for a long term, a little bit like stress that's just built up over time. I do particularly feel it will be key this month to be very cautious of pacifiers for your direct zodiac sign. So if you can kick some of them and find healthy means to address some of that stress, I feel it'll be very beneficial for you. Also, by mid-month, be really cautious. If you're needing to use crystals that can actually protect your home, protect your environment, keep you grounded, what crystals come to mind? One would be amethyst, but if your crown chakra is open quite a bit, I'd really guard against that. Add extra fluid. Try to avoid alcohol if possible. Another crystal I can think of, something earthing, something like tiger eye, citrine, especially for any detoxes that you feel are necessary for you. Now, those of you in your career zone, I do feel there's major changes here, especially some of you may be traveling for work, some of you maybe working online. Forward momentum can start happening. I also feel if you were training other individuals or maybe transitioning through, upskilling to get back on track, that also can become a bit more stable by mid-month. And I especially feel surrounding wealth and career, you do have lady luck pretty much till March. So any steps you need to take, especially if you're not happy with your employment, this would be the time to actually deal. And you're going to have a lot of attention really placed in that area, both in your love life and directly connected to, your deeper interconnections, your relationship and your wealth. There is lady luck on your side for that. I would try to be very cautious about who you tell your trade secrets to, especially for those of you in the business sector of life. Really using your intuition and not spreading yourself too fine, because it can be that we have all these creative ideas but really unsure about how to directly implement them. I do feel in February, moving into March especially, you're going to have a lot more clarity in that area, and you'll know what to do and how much effort and energy is going to be required. I would particularly say to be quite goal orientated and have a mission down packed so we don't get sidetracked. We still have that kind of psychic frequency coming through where we can get sidetracked, go down the rabbit hole metaphorically with TikTok, and before you know it, half your day is gone and you haven't really dealt with the things that you have set out to achieve in that given month. So by being quite structured, I feel you're going to have a lot more success. You can have lady luck around changing a website, upgrading it, getting more clientele coming in. Creating very firm boundaries, especially with price lines and guides us to your goods and services. I do particularly feel there could be some movement, and probably a really great time to tweak and change your approach where it does come to advertising us in the first week. Wealth is looking good. However, I do feel you're trying new things, and I do feel some of your projects and goals, because you do have that potential there for changes, it could go by the wayside for a little bit, but I still feel it's moving direct. Some of you may have had repairs or things that you needed to actually address around the home. You also may need to really update paperwork surrounding your net worth, and there could be negotiations coming through where it does come to wealth. So this can be anything down to loans, purchasing of material goods, purchasing of a home. There can be something quite large that you're entertaining. And if you did need to backtrack and things were on the back burner for a bit, I'd say by about the end of the first week, those things can actually move forward. Separately, like I mentioned, take stock of the tips that I gave you around your health. Use the crystals, especially by mid-month. I do feel that's super key. If there is something emotionally really lingering, this would be the month to get your ducks in a row, to take some personal time for self, to recharge, so that you're ready for the next month where it all goes down. Love and light. Don't forget to check back with us for your romance house. We do have the mid-month edition. They will be out in the members ahead of the crowd, and we also have the weekly content. Otherwise, take care, beautifuls, and I'll see you on the other side.